He told me.
We have an announcement about food. We need more players to go and pick up their dinner box. Everyone who has the meal plan should go now and pick up their meal box, because now's the time. The meal boxes are available behind the stand. Behind the stand. Please go and pick up your meal box now. Thank you. And before the game starts, the first move will be made by the mayor, Virginio Brivio. That will make first move.
Welcome to the 2014 World Juniors Ultimate Championships here in Lecco, Italy. I'm Brian Jones with Liam Rosen, part of Sky Magazine's coverage here of the World Junior Championships. We'll be here all week, but first we have our first game in the women's division. The host team, Italy, faces off against Ireland, and Ireland is looking to gain some experience after becoming a youthful team and really getting started just a couple years ago, Liam.
Yeah, Ireland's first juniors team was formed in 2011. That was the European Youth Ultimate Championships in Wrocław in Poland. Again, like you said, they're a developmental team. They're here looking to gain experience. Juniors Ultimate in Ireland in general, both boys and girls, is just starting out. A lot of these players were recruited, started playing in schools. Talked to Coach Quiva Quigley before the game. She said her players had a mix of nerves and excitement to be playing in the showcase game.
Italy comes out in a host stack as this game gets started. First game underway here at the World Junior Ultimate Championships. We're all set to go. Lega, it's back in the center of the field. Italy has done quite well at the past couple European Championships, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Italy slowly moving the disc. And you can see here, Italy in the white, Ireland in the green. Very windy so far, Liam.
Interception from Ireland. And like you said about the wind, you see the flags in the background.
Italy gets it right back. A lot of turnovers, but you can see right now Italy does not have the throws be able to go and fight this wind. Italy battling upwind, Ireland going the other way.
So I was, before the game, throwing the disc around, and in the stadium, this is very typical stadium wind. For anyone that's used to watching Ultimate games in stadiums, this wind is not going any particular direction. It's swirling, and it has picked up even since I was down there. So look to see a game where the team with the best throws in the wind is going to come out on top.
And that may point to an advantage for Italy. Ireland, without that experience in the World Juniors so far, as you said. We started Malega with the disc. Getting up the line. Italy's going to have to work hard here. Now going deep. Defender is there for Ireland, going the other way. And Malega already with 2 Ds on the first possession, proving her worth, going to the end zone. Italy gets on top 1-0 to start things off.
And both teams, as we saw, very typical for maybe the first point in a championship in the showcase game, showing a bit of nerves there. Maybe a few more turnovers than they would have liked. So I think the team that cleans it up and has the best throws is going to come out on top in the game.
Federica Cipriani sending it to the end zone for the goal. 1-0, Italy leads. And now Ireland's going to be forced to go upwind. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. Italy having a lot of experience at this European Championships. And Liam, they're looking to build off of that momentum.
Right. Italy is a bit more of an experienced team. 2011, they were the European champions in Poland, again in that European Youth Championships. In 2012, they actually had a big roster turnover, lost a lot of their key players, but still finished 5th place in the world for U19. In 2013, they finished 2nd place in Europe. That was at the European Youth Championship in Germany. And talking to the coaches before the game, they're returning most of that team. So this team is really looking for a great result here in their home country. This is really their last year that many of them will have the chance to play on this team. Many of these players, 18, 19, just getting over the age limit to be able to play.
We have a large crowd here today. The opening ceremony is taking place. All the teams coming through. Bit of marching band and color guard from the Italians. Great welcome and great kickoff to this event. Lega. And the wind is swirling here as the pole goes just past half field. Ireland picking up the disc. O'Neill looks for the connection. Incomplete. Italy going the other way. Lega already had a huge impact so far with 2 defensive blocks. Running in a vertical stack. Floats one over the top. Looking deep for the end zone for the second score of the game. Italy goes on top 2-0.
And that cutter, deep cutter, completely unguarded there. Ireland has to remember to back the last cutters in the stack. Italy as a country loves the huck, girls and guys. They're always trying to throw it deep. So that's something that Ireland's going to have to keep in mind for the rest of the points in this game.
Eleonora Monaco with the goal. Italy off to a very fast start. And we'll see if they can take another shot upwind. So important when you're Ireland to have the right mindset coming into this. You're inexperienced, you're looking to gain, you're down 2-0, time to respond.
And talking to the Irish coaches, the team was in a bit of a rush getting to the stadium. Their flight had just arrived. They were sort of rushing to get to the opening ceremony. So a bit of nerves there playing a role. They need to calm down, relax, just pretend it's any other game and play their system.
2-0, Italy leads. And so far, Alice Malega has been a key cog in this Italian system.
She's captain of this team, also plays for Cusp Shout, club team from Bologna that's been champions of Italy the past 2 years.
Francesca Meffert looking up the line, not there. Was intended for O'Neill. Malega picking up the disc. Vertical stack for Italy. They've run this on their defensive possession so far. Sartori gets it up the field, looking to the end zone. Wide open. 2 players there for the goal, and Italy off to a great start, 3-0.
And a beautiful deep continuation cut from number 26, Noemi Niceto. She saw that play developing 3 seconds before it happened. That's the trait of a great continuation cutter. Made a perfect cut, got open, and Italy gets on the board again for 3-0. You hear in the background the Irish boys team cheering on their fellow ladies. They've been the maybe the highlight of the opening ceremony so far. They were quite lively, dancing, enjoying the festivities, and now cheering for their fellow Irish team.
And Ireland may be young, but there's a couple of standouts on this Ireland team, looking specifically, Liam, at Jessica Weitbrecht.
Yeah, Jessica is the vice captain of the team. She's only been playing Ultimate for 1 year. Had a chance to talk to her before the game. She is one of the only players that's also staying on to play at the World Ultimate Club Championships coming up 2 weeks from now. She's going to play with her home team, Little Miss Sunshine. And asked her about the game. She said that the team is a bit nervous, but just excited to be playing in front of the home crowd. Now, the significance of the showcase game picked because the last host of the World Youth Championships was Ireland. That was back in 2012 in Dublin, and now it's in Italy. So seeing the two host countries facing off.
O'Neal gets it off. O'Neal up the line. No looking deep. Going to toss one up. It's going to hang. Going to float to the backside. Ireland comes up with it. Looking to the end zone for the first score of the game. And just can't come up with it.
Foul called on the field.
Looks like there's going to be a foul on the mark.
Ryan, these girls are trained very well. So World Flying Disc Federation has established hand signals for calls. This is not as common in the U.S., but the player, Anya, was actually making these sign for call, which is great that these young players are learning the hand signals so early. Very helpful.
Anya Gilhaney looking for the dump. O'Neal gets it back to the end zone. Through the hands. Agata Domanska was wide open in the end zone.
And we've seen a lot of Chloe Gelsey. That's the player that threw that score a lot for Ireland. She's one of their main handlers. She's going to do a lot for them in this game.
Italy going the other way. Up the line too far. Ireland still with a chance to get on the board. Gilhaney looking for an option now. Going back to the dump. O'Neal. Right to an Italian defender. Tipped in the air. Almost caught.
That was a nice break throw. Unfortunately, she threw it right through the middle of the stack. And Italy was right there.
Over the top, hanging. Too far yet again. Again, the wind swirling in the stadium. It's unpredictable. And another turnover, giving it right back.
Nerves, nerves, nerves. Both teams need to slow down, think about their decisions. I wouldn't be surprised to see a timeout called soon in which the coaches will just try to remind them that it doesn't matter where they're playing. They just need to run the same system that they learned.
Great break throw out to space, wide open. Sartori to the end zone for the score. Riccioni brings it in. 4-0, Italy leads.
And that was a beautiful, beautiful break, as you said, opening up the entire field. Irish defender lagging behind. And there's not much you can do to stop that score once the break has been completed.
Federica Cipriani, one of the players to watch for Italy, opening things up there with the throwing ability.
Yeah, Cipriani is another member of the CUSP Shout team. So there's 7 total players that come from Bologna on this junior team. They sort of form the core of the team. Very good chemistry. They've been playing with each other for a long time. As I mentioned, they've been the Italian champions 2 years running. And fortunately, a lot of them will be leaving the juniors team after this year. A lot of them are 19, and this is really their last chance to make a difference and make a showing here. And boy, are they. 4-0 on Ireland.
Great opportunity, though, once they move on as a unit. There's still U23s, which has really come about in popularity over the last few years. And hopefully they'll stay together as a unit and bring that experience they've had over the past couple European championships. 4-0. Ireland looking for the first score of the game. Again, coming in from that late airplane and maybe a little bit rattled. Could be a nice time for a timeout should Ireland not score on this one, but they do. You can see in the field, if you look at any of the flags as we go across, the wind is blowing in different directions depending on which part of the stadium you're in. Very difficult wind to deal with. Nora Farrell picks up the disc. Looking deep. Over the top. Receiver doesn't read it correctly. Intended for McConnell.
That was also a receiver-handler communication mistake. The receiver had actually already stopped cutting deep and was turning around. Just an unfortunate mistake for Ireland.
Vertical stack here for Italy.
And Italy running a very, very neat stack. They got one cut from the back, one from the front.
grabbing close quarters. Bonfante gets it off. Monaco. Gelsey. Lega can't handle it. Going the other way now for Ireland. A chance with a short field. Can they get on the board?
This is Ireland's best chance here to score downwind.
Aoife McDonough. Now looking back. Meffert. For an option, staying with the dump. And just off the fingertips, Farrell can't reel it in. Lega looking to push the pace. Looking for an option. Gelsey. Floats one up. Enough time to reel it in. Bonfante. Lega. End zone. D for Ireland. Tipped in the air. Goes Italy's way. 5-0.
And she's going to want that one back. Rachel wasn't able to catch the D.
Looks like she may have been injured on the play.
She is getting up now, it looks like. Maybe a bit shaken. She's being escorted off the field by Coach Quiva Quigley. Was talking to Coach Quigley before the game. This is her second time coaching the juniors team. First time was in 2011 with the first iteration of the team in Poland. She's quite young. Actually, the first time she started coaching, she told me she just missed the age cutoff for being able to play on the team, so she figured why not coach and go anyway. So that's kind of how she started, and that's always great to see. More talented coaches always needed in the ultimate community. Let's take another look at this D. Bats it out of the air, but in this wind, Brian, you have to secure your Ds. You have to catch those Ds.
Well, Nora Monaco comes down with it instead for Italy, 5-0. Just a great location here at World so far, incredibly beautiful. Hard to tell right now from the stadium, but there's mountains surrounding us all over. Lake Como nearby, just incredible so far. The weather here has been a bit muggy. It's cooling down so far, and you can see the wind on the field has really been affecting play. We expect those muggy conditions throughout much of the week, throughout our coverage here on Sky Magazine. I'm Brian Jones with Liam Rosen.
Yeah, I think the players actually would prefer this weather. The last couple of days it's been quite hot. The sun hasn't really come out today. So now Ireland having to face for the first time against the zone. I really like this idea from Italy. They get up the 5-0, why not try a zone? And Ireland there with a turn.
Lega going the other way now. The zone working out for Italy. Vertical stack yet again. We've only seen the horizontal stack when they open up their offensive possession. Looks like that's an identity for the D-line. Going deep, wide open. Can it get there? For the score, Italy goes up. The run continues, 6-0.
And what a beautiful, beautiful throw.
Elisa Fragapani.
That was just a wonderful backhand huck. And talking to the coaches before the game, they highlighted her hucks as something that would help out the Italian team. These players, you can see they've been playing for a long time. Their Italian team is very disciplined. They're running their offense. They seem to have shaken off the nerves that they encountered in the first couple points of the game, and they're really finding their rhythm here, up 6-0.
As we go on throughout the week, we'll have 3 games a day starting tomorrow and Monday. This is just the only game today in the women's division. But we'll be doing games in the men's division, women's division of the U19, and then we'll also be covering the finals of the U17 European Championships, I believe, on Friday. And Saturday we will wrap things up, take a week off, go a little bit about our travels throughout Europe, take this opportunity, and we'll be back for the World Club Championships, which will prove to be very exciting. A lot of club teams from around the world coming to this place.
And this is really what Skyd has been looking forward to for the past 4 years, being founded right after the last World Club Championships in 2010. Everything preparing for this, and excited to be here, bringing the viewers some great ultimate in Lecco.
If you have any questions for us, feel free to contact us at Twitter. Contact Brian Jones at no_look_scuba.
And then Liam Rosen at Skyd_Liam Rosen. I will be happy to read your tweets, whatever type of content they may contain, questions, comments, criticisms, concerns.
Chance for Ireland to get on the board, 6-0. They are down.
And Italy, again, coming out in the same zone. They figure it worked once, why not throw it again? And this showcase game up, beautiful breakthrough through the cup, but it's easily D'd.
Ireland just unable to get any consistent production. Definitely showing their youth and inexperience. Italy up the line. Vertical stack. Ricci to the end zone. Too short. Ireland going the other way.
And that was a good decision, just an execution error. Italy has really relied on those upline looks and then the deep shot, transitioning back into their zone.
Ireland going over the top and right to the deep. Giada Bolognese. Gets the block, and Italy going the other way once again. Everything just going their way so far, Liam.
Indeed, they've had a couple drops, couple miscommunications, but their decisions are in the right. And as we say that, turnover, Ireland now with the disc again. They'll look to move it before Italy can set the zone back up.
Lightbreck, one of the more experienced players here for Ireland.
So you're now seeing this is a bit of a different zone. If you look, there's one mark, and then there's a 3-player wall.
And it results in another turnover.
Yeah, Ireland just cannot figure the zone out.
Unmarked. Frangipani up the line. Ricci to the end zone for the score, and 7-0. Ireland just looking overmatched at this point.
If I was the coaches of Ireland, I would call a timeout. There was major confusion on that point. There was an unmarked handler. It looked like there were 7 players guarding the stack cutters. I'm not quite sure what happened on that one.
7-0, but all Italy in this opening round matchup.
Ireland not giving up. Going to jog it back to the line. Coach Quigley giving some instructions. Quigley also a player for Little Miss Sunshine, so she'll be representing her team, Irish women's champions, in the upcoming World Ultimate Club Championships right here in Lecco. Italy will get ready to pull again.
7-0. Crowd still staying in it.
Yeah, Italian U19 boys team cheering on their girls.
Ireland. No more zone, and a D from Italy right off the bat.
And that was just an unneeded throw. Italy was actually poaching there. They had an unguarded handler on Ireland's side. She was completely unmarked. She did not need to make that throw.
Looking for Frangipani up the line. Italy looking to move it. Ricci. Frangipani. 2 sisters on this squad. Looking to the end zone. Poach D for Ireland, gets it back.
Great position D. And Irish fans cheering from the stands for that one. That's Anya Gilhaney again. She's been playing very well in this game.
Ireland now forced to go the full field.
Nice bit of a high release flick there. Unfortunately, another immediate turnover for Ireland.
Frangipani to the end zone. Over the top. Too far. Intended for Recchioni.
Ireland will take their time in this one. Set up. Gilhaney's going to go back and grab the disc. Still staying in their vertical stack. Both teams playing vertical this game.
Drop for Ireland, back to Italy. Another short field. Ricci to the end zone. Italy 8-0.
I'm really impressed with Italy's catches. These girls have very aggressive, very strong catches. It's not easy to catch a disc in this wind. And that's been one of the biggest difference makers so far, has been the drops. Ireland has found it very hard to get more than a couple passes off, even though the passes may be pretty good, without a single drop. Italy, on the other hand, doing very well.
8-0. Italy leads. And we'll take a look at our schedule for tomorrow. We first start things off in the open division. Canada versus Japan. It's going to be an exciting game. Typically, we see a lot of great ultimate players come out of both countries.
Yep, both players at the forefront, both countries at the forefront of the international ultimate scene.
And after that, we've seen Colombia in the women's division really start to rise over the last couple of events. And they'll be facing off against Great Britain in the women's division. And then at the end of the day, we'll have another Colombian game in the open division versus Russia.
Yeah, Colombia is a really fun country to watch. Colombian women, of course, champions of the last World Junior Ultimate Championships in Dublin in 2012. Colombia men, second place. And from what I understand, both squads are returning a large majority of their teams. Whereas in the U.S., you might see more turnover from year to year. In many of these other countries with a smaller ultimate community, you have the same players playing on the team over and over.
And we'll take a timeout here from the game. 8-0. Italy has taken half, and we'll be back in a few minutes. The second half action. This is Sky Magazine's coverage of the 2014 World Junior Ultimate Championships. And we're back after a timeout. Sorry, not quite to half yet. Game 17 here at this tournament. Italy up 8-0. Timeout on the fields. Both teams trying to regroup.
And a good timeout call. I think when you're down this much, teams need to use all of the timeouts they have, and they need to regroup and talk it over. What we've been saying all game is nerves, nerves, nerves. That's been the difference maker. Italy now looking more assured. Ireland, hopefully after the timeout, will come in with a renewed sense of fight in them as the pull comes down. Italy again comes out in the zone.
And we see here in that zone, like you said, Liam, it's a different type than three-man cup we've seen. 1-3, 2-1. But Ireland able to make a couple passes through so far.
I really like Gelsey so far in this zone. She's not afraid to take her shots right through the middle of the cup. Watch this with the high release backhand.
Looking to the end zone. Could be this first point. Over the top. Too far. Italy, now the chance to take half.
And not a terrible decision by Ireland with the choice between a short field turnover and boosting it deep with the high release backhand and maybe having a shot at getting it. Now they have Italy down, and they'll have to work it up all the way to the rest of the field.
Call on the play. It's going to go back here. Looks like there was some contact in the stack. May have been a pick. This gets tapped in. Ricci caught near the sideline, keeps it in bounds. Flat marks. Very active marks from Ireland.
Hand block by number 11, Kate Crowley. Huge hand block on the play.
Captain Kate Crowley, for a reason. Ireland with an opportunity here, and they're clearing out everybody, looking for only, looks like, one individual. Tipped up in the air, and a foul called on the play.
A nice break throw from Gilsey. And Gilhaney with the foul call on the play. Looks like no contest, so the disc is going to stay with Gilhaney. This is Ireland's best chance to score. They have to get it out of the end zone.
To the end zone, Ireland gets up. The crowd's happy. Ireland gets on the board.
And that's Kate Crowley, captain, number 11, with the bookends. Hand block on one end, scoring the first goal to get Ireland on the board in this game.
You can hear the crowd, the Ireland men's team sticking around, very excited.
Come on, you girls in green is what they're shouting. That's a pretty common Irish cheer for all the Irish sports teams. You'll often hear, come on, you boys in green, come on, you girls in green. Adapted to Ultimate, and I love the spirit of the Irish team so far. So Ireland now with the first chance to pull. We have Chloe Gelsey, one of Ireland's main handlers, setting up to pull now. Italy will have a chance on offense.
Chance to take half. So far, a great start for Italy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Italy fares in the rest of the tournament. This should give them pretty good confidence coming out in the showcase game like this and showing their worth. So it'd be great to see them against some of the other teams.
We haven't seen the offensive line out on the field for Italy so far other than the first point.
And that can be frustrating, being an offensive player when your team is up, not being able to play. You can see they're setting up now in a horizontal stack. First time they've run this in the game.
Cipriani taking the disc at midfield. Errant pass, but picked up anyway. Italy still with the luck going to the end zone, floating too far. A couple of fans wanting the receiver to run that one out, looking for a big play.
Gelsey will pick up again.
Ireland getting some confidence working it up the field, but right back to Italy. Cipriani. Swings the disc wide. Scazzieri. Italy has not had to work too hard to get the disc down the field. Frangipani gets it off. Malega in a late bid, but Malega gets up.
That was a near layout D again from Crowley.
To the end zone for half. Can't snag it. Scazzieri that was there.
I've been really impressed with Scazzieri in this game. I actually first saw her play at Paganello. Last year, she was actually playing with the American team, a lot of Riot Girls. Bullseye had a connection there, and I'm sure gained a lot from that experience. She's really kind of been the cog of their offense, doing everything. Nice cutter, good throws, good catches, but not able to bring that one down there.
Vertical stack for Ireland. Very deep. Pass goes off to the break side right away. Can't reel it in. Just a case of looking downfield. And Italy strikes back for half. 9-1. Italy takes half. Total domination so far in this first half.
Right. Ireland glad to have at least 1 point on the board, but a lot to talk about in the huddle when they go back for halftime.
And we'll take a short break here. We'll be back streaming you live the second half action. I'm Brian Jones with Liam Rosen. This is Sky Magazine's coverage of the 2014 World Juniors Ultimate Championships. Back for second half action here at 2014 World Juniors Ultimate Championships on Sky Magazine. I'm Brian Jones here with Liam Rosen. Italy with a commanding 9-1 lead, the host country. Ireland got on the board just at the end of the first half and looking to get a few more points to try to gain some experience in this game.
Yeah, Brian, if you're just tuning in for the first half, the Irish team came out. We discussed before they were in a bit of rush to get to the stadium. This is their first time really playing on a showcase field. Nerves have been a factor. They do look a little better, and the fast couple of points have gotten some good catches before drops were determining the game.
The wind has also died down in the start of the second half, which has wreaked havoc on the throws, and Ireland with a turnover kind of still in the stadium. We saw a lot of swirling high winds that were taking place in the first half, leading to a lot of turnovers and back and forth play. Frangipani looking to pick up the disc, one of the Frangipani sisters, but there's a call on the play.
Looks like there's some discussion on the field, maybe a retracted call. Looks like it is going to be a turnover, so Italy will pick up.
So here, Italy in the white, Ireland in the green. In vertical stack. Looking for the swing, Cipriani.
Italy's just done a fantastic job of swinging the disc and getting the upline pass. That's what they rely on. If I was Ireland, I would be blocking their cutters from getting upline at all costs.
Turnover from Italy. Ireland going the other way, picking it up quickly. Agoro on the sideline. Gilhaney. Ireland stringing together several passes here. Crowley to the end zone. Block by Italy.
And that's just a matter of trying to jam it up that one end zone. One thing that Ireland can work on is swinging the disc, as we see a turnover here from Italy.
O'Neal rushing to the disc, looking for an opportunity for the quick, easy score. O'Neal flips it out of the reach of the intended receiver, Looney, there in the end zone.
Very unfortunate for Ireland. A couple chances to score so far in this game, but unfortunate mistakes and throwaways have cost them a big lead so far.
Maria Chiara Frangipani picking up the disc, one of the Frangipani sisters. This game, other one, Elisa. Great players for this Italian team.
And the future is bright for Italy with this type of talent. I was saying before, these girls, only 18, 19 years of age, the way they move, the way they catch and throw the disc, their mechanics are very polished.
Sartori. Frangipane. Open up the line. Monaco to the end zone for the score. Italy takes a 10-1 lead.
Yeah, that's Giulia Ricci on the score. Another great throw to space from Italy. Hard one to defend on that. Their handlers are just faster than Ireland's handler defenders. They're getting up line at will, and their cutters are very, very good at the continuation.
10-1, Italy leads. Let's take a look a little bit here at our Sky schedule for the rest of the week. We told you tomorrow we have Canada and Japan starting things off at 9:30 a.m. You can check out the entire schedule at skydmagazine.com. Look for our WJUC 2014 schedule. But then on Tuesday, we're going to have USA versus Japan in the women's division, Sweden versus Latvia in the Open, New Zealand versus the Netherlands in the Open. And then from there, we're going to have Australia versus Italy. And moving on, we have a lot of games to be determined. Be sure to pay attention all week long. Voting is going to be a part of the process of figuring out which games we want to do, which games you want to see as a user. If you want to, you can tweet at us at Sky Magazine, or you can tweet at us individually, Brian Jones at no_look_scuba, and we also have Liam Rosen.
Yep, that's Skyed_Liam Rosen. And a lot of people have been asking us so far on the comments, why aren't you streaming this game? Why aren't you streaming that game? The reality is there are a lot of great games happening. We can't cover them all, so we need your help to vote on which games those will be. So we'll have more information about that soon.
Ireland looking downfield. Malega. Alice Malega, incredible start to this game. 2 defensive blocks. Main handler. No call on the field, though. Turned over, missed a drop on the play.
Italy hasn't shown their zone in a while, sticking with man defense. Looks like a strip.
Ireland will get it 0 count. Ireland fits it into a tight space.
Great catch from Fiona Vaughn.
Vaughn looking for the swing, a miscommunication intended for Farrell. They'll go the other way. Malega going deep. Grabs the disc, collision.
And both players caught it at the same time. They're going to talk it over. See who thinks they caught it first.
Discussion still going underway. And this is a big thing that we may talk about throughout this tournament in the spirit of the game. WFDF, for those of the from the U.S. watching, they do not use observers here, but we do have a game advisor for the first time.
WFDF, a couple years ago, due to some discussions at the last Congress, explored the idea of using observers. Very controversial, especially in Europe.
Italy going to the end zone for another goal. Hanging, brings it in. 11-1, Italy with the lead.
And these game advisors came out of that discussion at the World Congress. They had a group that was talking over about if they should use observers, changes to the rules. As the game gets more international prominence, as there are more and more streaming, there was to be discussion options to speed the game up. And WFDF decided that game advisors were the best compromise between an actual observed game and a game where players are making all the decisions. So what these game advisors are going to do, and we should have an article on Skyed that explains it more clearly in the next few weeks, but they will be allowed to advise on key issues on the field. So if there's a rules argument, they'll be able to appeal to the game advisor who has full knowledge of the rules. If there is an argument about whether the disc was in or out and whether a foot was on a line or not, these game advisors will be keenly watching the lines to see who was in or not in.
Cipriani with the pole for Italy. 11-1 lead. Ireland. O'Neill gets started. Farrell looking deep for the big gainer along the sideline. Deed caught inbounds and overthrown.
Both players laying out almost into each other. That was nearly a nasty collision. It looks like the disc may be going back.
There's a foul called on the play.
And that was not a good offensive look from Ireland. They had a player that was sitting deep and not clearing. And when that happens, you can't have space for your other cutters to go deep. So you just had an Italian defender that knew that throw was coming up and was able to get a hand on it. Disc will go all the way back now.
Going back to the game advisor, and what that's trying to stop is the lengthy discussions that we've seen where games go delayed for 5 to 10 minutes. Ireland with a deep shot, and this was going to be another turnover. And we've seen those lengthy discussions. We saw one recently, U23's Colombia versus Japan, back in Toronto of last season where we sat there. I was commentating on the Next Gen stream. 5 to 10 minutes. It took so long, and a game advisor can step in, say, you guys clearly aren't agreeing. Here's what the rules are, and try to move the game along as much as possible. And
right.
That's what we want to see as spectators.
They're not an observer. They're not someone who has the last word. They're just there to advise and help out the players to make the right decision.
Second point of the game. Crowley with the goal. Great pass to the end zone. Ireland. Second point down 11-2, but for them it's really just about how many points they can score and celebrating that.
That was a fantastic catch by Crowley. Disc was hanging in there and she very athletically jumped up and got both hands on it. So Ireland women fired up about that one.
(11-2). Italy started this game off red hot. And for the third time in this game, we'll see the offensive line. So far, we've seen the defensive line for Italy only run vertical stack, horizontal stack for Italy, and that's good for them as we see in a replay here. The beautiful throw over the top, but really a better catch by Captain Kate Crowley.
It's so hard to read those discs that are floating over your head, and she did a great job of looking up, determining where it was going to go, and reaching out and securing it. So we'll see if Crowley can make any more impact the rest of this game.
O'Neill with the pole for Ireland. We'll see a center to Frangipani.
Italy again. O-line sets up in a horizontal stack.
Great grab. Alega, one of the main cogs in the system. Frangipani looking deep. Gonna hang in the air. Snagged by O'Neill.
Sweet sky D from O'Neill. Used her height to get up there. And Ireland now on the run.
Crowley.
It looked like there was some discussion on the pitch there. There was actually no stoppage. I think it might have been a fast count and just a violation. The players look confused. Actually, they stopped running. Crowley again with another D.
O'Neill.
And it's been all Crowley and O'Neill for Ireland. They need some help from the other role players.
And it's still all Crowley and O'Neill. Ireland with 2 consecutive goals.
But they can ride this combination to the end of the game and get a couple more points out of it. That was a great connection from both of those girls. Ireland with a break.
First break of the game. Make sure again that you tune into all our coverage this week. This is the first opening round action here at the World Juniors Ultimate Championships 2014, Lecco, Italy.
And send me some tweets on Twitter. That's _Liam Rosen. I love reading your guys' tweets.
Let us know you're listening in.
There have been some funny comments so far. We are watching. Alberto Rossi says, any chance a match involving the Spanish team will be streamed? Well, Alberto, you're going to have to wait for the voting round at the end of this week.
Short pole from Ireland as the wind has picked up. Italy picking up the disc. First cut in the middle of the field. Good movement. Up the line to the end zone. Dish for the score. Italy gets back on the board, 12-3.
Very solid offensive point for Italy. All the cuts were in the right place. Cutters were getting open, and that was very, very hard to defend against.
Most of the teams sticking around so far in this opening ceremony. We all got the opportunity to show off a little bit. We heard a lot of cheers coming in today. This under-19 crowd very excited.
Yeah, the theme of each tournament is kind of figure out what is going to be the most catchiest cheer. We've been throwing around some ideas in the Skyed office. The Japanese cheers and the Colombian cheers from past tournaments have been the perennial favorites, so we'll see if a new one can emerge this time. Sleeper candidate maybe for best cheer is the Swiss juniors team. Fußball, volleyball. I like that one. We may hear some more of it before this tournament is over.
O'Neill looking to pick up the disc for Ireland. So far it's been Crowley getting it done, going deep right off the bat, not wasting any time, to the end zone. Intended receiver can't reel it in.
That was a fantastic backhand from O'Neill.
Looking for Aaron Looney in the end zone.
Receiver not able to get there, but that was a great look. Just incredible backhand. Ireland now on defense.
Italy moving it quickly. Oftentimes we've seen this lead to a deep shot. Ricci. Calza.
And Italy content to slowly work it up the field. No need to rush anything. Their cutters are all getting open.
Calza. Up the line. And a D from Ireland overthrown.
Ireland's defense has improved. I've seen a marked uptake in their defense in the last 5 or 6 points, whereas before Italy's cutters were getting open at will, especially deep. I think they might have had to talk about how to shut down their deep shots. Italy really hasn't been able to huck in the last few points. No movement now from Ireland in the stack.
O'Neill looking for an option.
It looks like stall may have been called.
It was a high count for sure. O'Neill is just going to send this one deep. And reeled in. Gillaney, one of the bright spots for this Ireland team.
Yeah, good decision. Stall 8. But unfortunately, Ireland with another turnover.
Looking for McDonough. Not going to happen today. Frangipane picking up the disc. It looks like there's some sort of discussion. So it's going all the way back. Well, we go way back down. We rewind a couple of more seconds. O'Neill's huck all the way back.
Yeah, it looks like that discussion I was referring to earlier on the stall. I'm not sure what happened there. She did play on, so I'm kind of wondering why it's going back. But, well, see how it plays out. So Ireland will get one more chance. And O'Neill with the same play, throwing it deep again. Unfortunately, no one there, but it's a good punt. And Ireland now with position on defense.
Frangipane picking up the disc. Maria Chiara. Backhand force. See a lot of swing cuts off the front of the stack. A lot of curling from this Italian team. Ricci gets it off. Now over to Frangipane. The wind still swirling in the stadium. Definitely affected the game so far, but you see Italy really changing to a quick disc movement. Before, it was a lot of direct movement up the field as Frangipane overthrows.
Yeah, it's an uncharacteristic mistake from her. She's been solid as a rock. She's just been the cornerstone of this Italian line.
O'Neill to the end zone.
O'Neill's throws have been great. Unfortunately, her receivers just haven't been there to get them. I think if the receivers were a little more on top, a little more alert, Ireland would have a couple more points on the board in this game. Her throws have been potentially some of the most impressive that I've seen on the field so far.
Well, the good thing here, if you're Ireland, you have nowhere to go but up. You have a lot of fundamental work to do. Right now you can see Ireland really only having a disc for an average of one throw per possession. And that's going to hurt.
Every team has to start somewhere, and Ireland has a growing Ultimate program. As we discussed, Juniors program has not been around for very long. Ultimate is now starting to be played in schools in some of the bigger cities in Ireland.
Turnover going back to Ireland. Kelsey had the throw, but Calza couldn't reel it in.
They'll take their time and set up. Who else but O'Neill walking up to the disc.
You can see here from the Ireland spacing, there's really nobody close to the disc and forcing O'Neill to make these throws to the back of the end zone. And it's just not been a successful strategy for Ireland that you don't also gain any confidence of being able to string together passes. But it's resulted in a couple of connections, mainly to Kate Crowley.
Right. So Frangipane shouting some orders on the field. Italy will go into vert stack. Going to angle it a bit.
Quick dish off of the catch. A lot more moving parts you can see for this Italian offense. A lot of cutters in play. Kelsey going over the top. Not there. Deed by O'Neill. A long point. 12-3.
You can see some of the cutters out there getting winded You can see Italy's looking a bit tired on defense. And this is where a strategy like Ireland's go for the gold on the first throw might actually work better.
Aoife McDonough. Gilhaney. O'Neill. Some momentum. Now trying to break to the end zone. Overthrown. Intended for Looney. And Italy's going to put it right back up. A huck and a hope. Back to O'Neill.
And Ireland stacked very, very deep now.
Really forcing these throws to the end zone. Just hanging. Not there.
So Italy will walk back and pick up again. And it's really the handlers are not the issue for Ireland. They need one or two strong receivers. So you're saying there's a lot more moving parts in Italy's offense. Italy is a deeper team. That's very, very clear. Ireland has 2 or 3 stars. Like you said, there's nowhere to go but up. They can build from here. But it's very hard to be successful in this game if you have 2 or 3 stars and maybe a bit of a shallower team.
We're going to take a short break here and give you the conclusion of this game. Timeout on the field. Italy trying to regroup. This is Sky Magazine's coverage of the 2014 World Juniors Ultimate Championships. Back at the 2014 World Junior Ultimate Championships, coming off a timeout, Italy trying to seal this one away, up 12-3 with a commanding lead. And Ireland has changed their defensive tactics, has really taken away the deep game for Italy, and it's resulted in a lot more chances for them.
Yeah, I think Italy has been doing a pretty good job of working up the field with a lot of small passes, but as you can see with a bit of the swirling wind, they eventually do turn it over, and that gives Ireland a chance. But as we were discussing during the timeout, Brian, without another look than simply a one-pass huck, Ireland really can't hope to come back in this game. They need a more dynamic game. They need to get more of the ladies on their team involved.
Well, we saw it when we saw Kate Crowley and O'Neill connecting to each other on a couple of points in the second half and really providing some momentum. Need an opportunity going to the end zone yet again, and another overthrow. The strategy not working out in Ireland's favor.
Italy will pick back up. Shout out to Connor O'Neill on Twitter. Says, watching Skyd magazine coverage is making me jealous of all the people there. Come on, you girls in green. Everyone can follow Connor. Con_Con31 on Twitter. Irish Ultimate Player.
Italy gets it up to receiver, Gelsey. Frangipani. For an underneath option. A little bit more composed out of this timeout. Calza.
Sure. Nice dump sets from Italy. Their dump has looked great all game. It's not the decisions. It's all about the reset.
Gelsey.
Gelsey's had a couple layout saves so far.
And now going deep, wide open. Running it down. Recchioni can't get it in.
That's a tough throw. That's a blade. They get kind of bladed over in the wind.
At that point, you're asking the receiver to do a lot of the work, but that's okay sometimes when you have wind. But in the stadium right now, the flags aren't blowing too hard. An opportunity for Italy starting off patient. Recchioni was wide open in the end zone. Not a bad look. Inside, gets up to Gilhaney. We see again, not much movement here. But going for the hammer over the top to O'Neill.
Interesting dump choice, but it works out.
Looking again for Gilhaney. Going to send this one down the field. Defensive block for Italy, gets it back.
And now it's been Gilhaney and O'Neill.
Bonfante stopping the momentum, though, for Italy. Frangipani. Too far, and again, this marathon point continues. Both teams exhausted. Just waiting for this one to resolve itself.
And O'Neill taking some time to walk to the disc. I like this strategy here from her.
Very deep vertical stack. And a poach D from Italy gets back. Great read on the disc.
That's Calza. Wonderful poach D. She came off. She was guarding the dump. Came off, saw that throw coming all day, and just grabbed it.
Bonfante looking deep. Recchioni in the end zone. Diving grab. 13-3. Italy leads.
Play of the game, Brian Jones. Diving layout clap catch. Woo! From Lavinia Recchioni.
We just broke up the international flavor of Liam Rosen. He's ready to go.
I'm excited, Brian. Plays like that get me pumped up. I've been waiting for a layout all game. There's been the discs where some of these girls have been so close but just haven't pulled the trigger. These Italian girls, I've watched them play at various tournaments. They are some of the most layout-heavy teams, and they're very, very fun to watch. They really teach them how to go horizontal there.
You see in the replay now.
Then that's another hard disc to track coming right over her head. She runs it right down.
Clap catch in the back of the end zone. Lavinia Recchioni reeling it in. And that one was sent out from Ilaria Bonfante.
So we'll have another look at Ireland's offense again.
Lego with the pole.
They've given O'Neill a rest for the first time in a while, so Crowley will actually pick back up as she faces the Italian zone.
The 1-3-2-1 and leads right away to a turnover. Italy rushing to the disc. Lega wide open, and another quick dish for the score. Fragapani reels it in, and just like that, 14-3.
And Ireland looking bamboozled on that defense. I don't think they were expecting the first pass turnover. Weren't able to adjust, and Italy marches right down and scores.
We've seen Italy employ person-to-person defense, and there's zone defense, the 1-3-2-1. The eyes on the wall to stay tight.
And Ireland's trying to force a lot of throws through that zone. I don't really like that. One thing that's wrong is their cutters aren't responding, so their cutters aren't recognizing that it's a zone and they're not coming into zone formation. They're sort of leaving the two handlers out there to fend for themselves, and we've seen a couple first pass turnovers from that. They're trying to high release over the cup as we see these Irish ladies dancing on the sideline. Still having fun, keeping the spirits up, even down 14-3. It's an honor in any case to play in front of these crowds, in front of all of their peers. All the players at this tournament are filling up the stands to watch this showcase game.
Crowley. And more zone, the 1-3-2-1. You can see the one mark. And a turnover, just a drop for Ireland yet again. And the wind picking up. Malega, though, has shown that's been no problem so far for Italy. Only needing a couple times to the end zone. Cesare. Malega. Great shimmy. Looking for Malega once again. Now to the end zone, and a hand block by Crowley, and there's going to be a foul call. Not sure about that one, Liam.
That's a hard one to see. It does look like it's going to be no contest.
It's going to stay with Italy.
Crowley taps back in.
Malega to the end zone, hanging. This was going to float over the top, right into the hands of the Italian receiver for the goal. 15-3. This one all but over. 2 points away from an Italian victory to open this 2014 World Juniors Ultimate Championships here in Lecco, Italy. The host team off to a great start. We'll rejoin you again tomorrow in the men's division, Japan versus Canada. Excited for that one, Liam.
That's going to be a fun one.
9:30 local time, 3:30 Eastern. Those of you might in the U.S. might just want to stay up for this one. We've seen very distinct styles out of the Japanese over the course of the years. They're not a team that has often a lot of height, a lot of big bodies. They rely on quick movement to the break side, and they're going to beat you in a sprint, but they're very athletic. We've seen a lot of incredible players come out of that system.
Italy sets up to pull again.
.6:15 local time here in Milan, or I should say Lecco, just outside of Milan.
Lecco is, for those that don't know it, a small city about 50 kilometers north of Milan. It's an alpine city. If we zoom out later on, you'll see the peaks that we're surrounded by. Very, very beautiful. Certainly the best surroundings of any Ultimate Championship I've been to. Lecco really has a lot going for it.
Looking for Crowley. This has been the connection. It works yet again, 15-4. It's been Crowley with several goals that have made it work for this Irish squad.
And I think Ireland is figuring out that is going to work. But being on the showcase game, I think a lot of the other teams that are here watching this are also going to see that Ireland really only relies on maybe those 2, maybe 3 players. And if I were those teams, I would be looking to put your best defender on those players and absolutely shut them down. It'll be a good learning experience for the rest of Ireland's players. many of whom have been playing for only a year or two. Some cheers from the crowd as Ireland sets the pole. I'm liking O'Neill's pre-polling routine. She's kind of getting herself psyched up. She bangs on the disc like a drum, does a bit of a dance. I've never seen anything like it.
Italian signal readiness. And the crowd's still well into it. Fragipani. Overthrow, short field for Ireland.
And that all started with a very nice pull.
Very, very deep.
Italy didn't get prepared fast enough.
O'Neill. Inside break. A little miscommunication. Crowd excited going back in the soccer net. We're sorry, we should say football. You can't tell we're American.
Not at all, Brian, not at all.
Malega. Scazieri into the breadbasket, but just not ready to receive was Fragipani.
O'Neill's taking her time, calling for the stack to come closer. This has been a problem for Ireland all game. Their stack is setting up about 5 to 10 meters too deep.
Over the top, tipped in the air, turnover. Italy going the other way.
And O'Neill with some impressive breakthrows, but her receivers just aren't ready for them. And she looks exhausted now, doing pretty much everything for this team at this point.
Looking for Malega. Goes to the ground, saves possession for Italy. Frangipani. And Malega busting deep. Gets right in there, tipped in a dish. Malega for the score, snags it out of the air.
Great playing by Malega on that point. Scazzieri with the throw. Nice high release backhand. And that was definitely her point. So Italy now up 15-4. I'm sorry, that's 16-4 with that last goal. So just one more point for Italy to put this one away.
Again, be sure to check out our entire schedule at skydmagazine.com. We're going to be here all week with coverage of the World Junior Ultimate Championships. Brian Jones and Liam Rosen, we will be your commentators. Sometimes we'll see some interviews by Elliot Trotter. We have a great crew backing us up this weekend. They've done a lot of work to get us going, and really a crew from all over internationally. We're very excited for this tournament. We'll be here all through Saturday. We'll take a week off, travel around Europe, be back for World Club Championships. Be sure to tune in. First game tomorrow, 9:30 local time, Japan versus Canada in the Open Division. Be sure to vote on the games later on in the week as we get into power pools and figuring out which matchups you want to see. Feel free to tweet at us. Tweet at Skyd Magazine. Ireland wants to sneak in a few more points, get this one a little bit closer, and a 1-3-2-1 zone, which really has plagued them this entire game.
An immediate first pass turnover for Ireland. Italy with a chance to seal the game.
Bonfante. To the end zone for the win, but not yet. Ireland with the D. O'Brien.
Shannon O'Brien had other plans.
Looney. Agoro. Over the top. Indeed, Bonfante to the end zone. This one's going to count. Italy takes the first game of the 2014 World Juniors Ultimate Championships, and they win 17-4 over Ireland.
And nice game to start out the tournament. Showcase game, as we mentioned, the significance of this game. Showcasing women's ultimate from the two host countries, Dublin, which was the host of the World Junior Ultimate Championships in 2012, and Italy, which is the host of these current championships in 2014. And nice to see a women's game in the showcase field for once. Some have said that 2014 is the year of women in ultimate, with lots of women's issues surfacing on the various ultimate media sources, lots of proponents and discussion about women in ultimate, so it's great to see a couple of these teams in Europe displaying what they have in front of this crowd.
A commanding victory for Italy starts this off. 17-4 Italy over Ireland in the first round in the women's division. For Liam Rosen, I'm Brian Jones. Sky Magazine's coverage of the 2014 World Juniors Ultimate Championships in Lecco, Italy.
I'm going to hold the microphone up.
Okay.
Eva Ardoni, right?
Correct.
And Piero Bisaggi.
See, and Emanuele Argilli. We are three coaches.
Okay, well then I'm going to let you introduce them. It's going to be easier. Okay?
We see here we're actually going to stick around for a little bit longer. Spirit Circle, a hallmark of the European Championships, World Championships often, and we saw it at the U.S. Open actually taking place. A lot of teams bringing it back. Great opportunity to discuss how the game went, and we see this from a lot of teams not used to playing with each other. They have different interpretations of the rules.
Oh, the microphone?
They're able to come together, talk about the game, and that's the experience that we want to provide at these World Championships.
Spirit Circle is a place to discuss
Like that?
spirit issues in the game, to congratulate the other team, and I'm a big fan of them. I think they're great. There's been a concerted effort in the United States this year to try to encourage spirit circles. It started in the women's division. A lot of women's club teams have been doing them, not just at the U.S. Open. I would personally like to see more club teams try them out. It's really a great way to link arms, to physically touch the other members of the team in a busy tournament where you otherwise may not get the chance to socialize with someone from the other team.
It's good? Hi, everyone from the fields. I'm here with the Italian coach, Eva. She's going to introduce the other coaches to us first. So, congratulations on the win, Eva. Your team did a really great job. Did you expect such a result? Were you planning on such great performance with the other coaches?
Hello, everybody. I'm Eva, like you said. I'm coaching the Italian team with Piero Pisano and Emanuele Argilli. And of course, we're very happy for this first one. We didn't expect it to be so, the score to be so high, because Ireland is a strong team with a long tradition. But maybe the wind and our girls did a very good job. So we're very happy, and we're glad that we won this first game.
Awesome. We saw some amazing hucks from your team. Was that your tactics? Did you really try to learn those with the girls?
We are three coaches that we really like the long throws, because we always say that we can play short, but if we go long, it's easier and it's nice and smooth. So we try, but the girls have good skills, so it works because they know they can throw, basically.
Absolutely. We saw you guys can go short and long, and it works every time. I was wondering, were there any teams that your team was particularly looking for playing against?
Of course, it's the World Championship, so we're really looking forward to play with the USA, Canada, Colombia, and all those teams that we don't get to meet during the years because of the distance. And of course, we're looking forward to play against Germany as well, and Austria and France, because we had a very good time and very good matches last year in the European. So we're looking forward to play many teams, basically. So.
And one last question. Would you like to point out a particular player or a couple of players that did really well in this game, and you would like to thank them maybe? So on air?
Ooh, if I have to point out someone, it's not like the most experienced player, but are the new players that they play only for have been playing only for a few months. So I would say that our MVP of these games were Noemi Micetto, very young player. She's 15, so I pointed out her. I think she was a very good player in this game.
Well, congratulations to her and to all of you for winning such an excellent and hard first game that everybody was watching. And we hope everything goes well with the rest of the tournament. And thank you for the interview.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, and good luck to everybody. Thanks.
At some more games.
Commentators, can you wrap up?
That wraps our coverage of the first round here at the World Junior Ultimate Championships in Sky Magazine. For Liam Rosen, I'm Brian Jones. Thanks for tuning in. We'll have more coverage throughout the week. Be sure to join us here in Lecco, Italy.